Hey, 'tis I, the master bather. When you hear this iconic theme song, put it up really loud because we're not afraid of being sued by Gene Vincent. He's already shown he's a panty waist. He's a panty waist compared to us. It's me. I'm the old master bather. I'm back. We've been gone for a while. We're going to do a few of these episodes as we usually do when we've been disappeared and we forgot what we were doing. And I'd be honest with you, I got back a week ago. We were on a cruise. Lucy and I went on a cruise to Alaska. We had a really interesting time. Basically enjoyed it. I kind of like going on cruises. People find this kind of unbelievable about me, but I really like going on cruises. We ate too much. I gained like 6 pounds in 9 days, 6 pounds, and I came back with some weird cruise disease. I think it was COVID, but I was sick for like 6 days and I lost all 6 pounds. So that's why I look so beautiful. That fan effect, that's a Sydney Greenstreet effect that we're doing here now at the bathtub. We got the overhead fan going very faintly. We're doing new Bop-A-Lula. I kept meaning to tape these in the week I was back, but I was sick. And what else happened? And then Jimmy Kimmel disappeared, and I went with him. And then he's still gone, but I'm back. And I got the unpixelated water. We're still living the same dream of a country that we were dreaming before. And we got grapefruit juice, no booze, no alcohol, and I am Pao Zhao Jiao Shou. I remain the Asian equivalent of the foamy bathtub professor. We're doing new books. We got an exciting new book, new Bop-A-Lula. It's almost like a personal adventure in pointlessness, because I spent at least 2 or 3 days trying to figure out how to do the new Bop-A-Lula. Then my microphone stopped working. I just got back. It's very hot here in San Luis Obispo. I walked all the way just for you guys. My microphone wasn't working, and people kept saying your microphone wasn't working. I kept saying, no, you're wrong. My microphone's working, and it wasn't working. So anyway, the cord was bad. It should be working now. I didn't even really, after all of that, I don't even think I even went up, bothered to check. Why don't we do this now? This is the sound. Let's go look at sound, make sure it's working. I got Samson Meteor mic, and it's just blaring. Boy, just blasting out there. And if I was saying something, that would be useful. New Bop-A-Lula. So these are new books that just came in, and we have kind of an exciting, it's probably the most exciting new Bop-A-Lula you will ever experience in your lifetime. It was so exciting that I actually tried to call Penguin Publicity to double check that it was okay to say, I have now a possession of the Shadow Ticket, Thomas Pynchon's lovely new novel. It's not published for a few more weeks. Is the documents in? There is a document. I forget the exact pub date. That's what we are like here at the bathtub. I have read a good chunk of it. I am afraid to say anything because I don't want to violate an embargo. I don't want to violate the embargo and be taken off by these shadowy characters that populate Pynchon novels that would just sweep me off. Me and Jimmy Kimmel will be in the same submarine off the Milwaukee coast. But I am really, really, really enjoying it. It's probably his shortest novel next to Crying Lot 49, a book I'm not wild about. It has a submarine in it. Like a lot of his books have submarines in them. Have you noticed this? And I'm reviewing the book, so I'm very excited about it. This is a new Bop-A-Lula. You cannot get more exciting than to see the Shadow Ticket. First, I'm sure some of you have seen it already. You can buy this at lots of places, not from those bastards at Amazon. But maybe bookshop.org. Okay, maybe bookshop. Don't forget OCMA. OCMA is a Pynchonian organization. They don't like you buying stuff from Amazon, and that bald-headed weirdo guy. Buy it from somewhere else. Probably your local bookshop when it comes out. I'm sure the embargo will keep that book from being distributed until the actual moment that the calendar says it's okay. But to show you how paranoid I was, so I actually called. I wanted to actually read some excerpts and tell you a little bit about the book as it's going. I'm not going to tell you anything that you can't see on the publicity sites. But I tried calling them to see if it's even okay to mention it, and I said, what the hell? I'm a man. I'm going to tell people this book's published. This book exists. I'm not afraid to say it. Okay, and then the next book, James Marshall. So Thomas Pynchon, James Marshall, totally personal buddy, nepotism, nothing but nepotism. We like James. He's a good buddy of ours, a bathing buddy here, and I browse through his books every time the 2 books he's published just to see that guy knows what he's doing. He knows how to write sentences, paragraphs, and narrative stories, and it looks pretty interesting. His first book was called The Poster, and it was about a post-nuclear young adult novel. This looks like it's about a kind of young adult novel too, but it's set at the Celts during the Roman invasion of Britain. I know nothing about that. I don't know anything about the Roman invasion of Britain, but it says there's some good quotes here. It says 2 young Celts are caught up in an intertribal dispute at the time of the Roman invasion of Britain. Fedlimid is a chieftain's daughter who is used as a pawn until she matures into a young woman and learns about the ancient earth magic. A woman named Leslie Wells says Stone and Water is a gripping tale of courage, loyalty, loss, betrayal, and revenge that will captivate readers of any age. Nice looking book. There's a kind of a druid thing going on there, and kind of a Stonehenge thing. And anyways, it's a nice, lovely book that by our buddy James Marshall. And if you buy both, I think you kind of have to buy James's books at Amazon, like many of my books. But if you get Thomas Pynchon and James Marshall in the same month, that's a pretty interesting reading experience, I got to tell you, one way or another. Here's a book I don't know anything about by Dragan Velikic. Dragan Velikic. It's called The Investigator. It's published by a small publisher that we have some sort of I've had some sort of interactions with over the years. I think it's Istros Books. They're supported by Arts Council England. This says 2000. Okay, it's first published in 2025 in English, but it's published in Serbian in 2015. It looks interesting. It's a Serbian novel. It's winner of the 2015 NIN Award, the most prestigious literary prize in Serbia. We want to support all the good writers out there, and especially Serbian ones. The Investigator contains everything that has made the author so successful in his homeland. A perfect sense for detail, linguistic precision, a brilliantly polished style. While the novel starts as a search for a lost mother, it becomes a story about a country and a people who no longer exist, an elegy for Yugoslavia, as well as a family. So about all the kind of horrible things that happened and the vanishing of people into those many years of violence and since. Anyway, I don't know anything about the book except that it looks pretty good. We want to support these small publishers. If you're interested in Yugoslavian, contemporary Yugoslavian fiction and Serbian fiction, there you go. Looks pretty interesting. We remember this is called New Bop-A-Lula. We don't know anything. We don't know anything what we're talking about. We just show you new books. That's all we do, and it's very unusual for me to have read almost 70, 75, 85 pages of one of the books. Here's one. I was interested in reviewing this. These are books that I was interested in reviewing, but nobody in their right mind wanted me to review. This is called Inhabit the Poem, Last Essays by Helen Vendler. Okay. It has everybody, including Ocean Vuong. I'm sure he's a good writer. Every time I turn around, I see Ocean Vuong somewhere, and I'm getting a little tired of it. But he's even here. He's even here next between Gerard Manley Hopkins and William Blake. Anyway, it's her last essays of William Butler Yeats, Emily Dickinson, Yeats, Whitman, etc. And it's called Inhabit the Poem. And a lot of people swear by Helen Vendler as far as her writings on contemporary poetry. I've never been a fan of Helen Vendler. I'm not an unfan of Helen Vendler. But these are some of her last essays. Library of America. If you like contemporary scholarship, particularly about poets, then you got to at least try Helen Vendler, and you report back to me. Okay, it's a nice looking book too. Hayim Naman Bialik on the Slaughter, selected. This is New York Review of Books. These are people we talk to a lot because they send us books. We like what they publish, and then we also like that they send us the books. So this is a poet I know nothing about. We know nothing about almost anything we talk about here. He died in 1934. He's widely considered the greatest Hebrew literary figure of his age. Okay, 50 poem. No, that's something else. Oh, that's something I know more about. Okay, this is poetry. Yes. So it's poetry called On the Slaughter, selected and translated by Peter Cole. NYRB is doing a lot of poetry. Good for them. And we're taking a lot of their stuff into the. We have a episode called Poets Corner, some Living Poets Corner, and we'll try to take some of these in there. Here's what I want to take into Living Poets Corner. I like Rainer Maria Rilke, and this is translated by Jeffrey Lehman, and it is a bunch of poems by Rilke, and the new poems are for me Rilke's greatest poems, and so these are 50 poems. All right, with a little closing essay and afterword, and there's no introduction, but this is a new book, a new collection, a new translation of Rilke's poetry from New York Review of Books. $16. If you haven't read Rilke, you should try them. And we always try to support new translators and new translations of poetry. We talked about this. We did a whole episode on Konstantin Cavafy, but I just wanted to show you the book, the biography, the finished copy, a new biography by Gregory Justanis and Peter Jeffries. If you're as interested in as Cavafy as I have become since writing about him, then this is quite a very enjoyable biography. I liked it very much, and it's brand new, and you might want to go get that. Okay, so that's going into that. I've done that pile. Here's another book I wanted to do. Two more from New York Review of Books. Oh no, this is from Columbia. One from New York Review of Books, which is a new edition of Mrs. Dalloway. I used to walk around that neighborhood of where Mrs. Dalloway does her shopping for many, many years. One of my favorite homes in Bloomsbury where I lived. And I used to Mecklenburg Square and all the way up to Oxford Circus and all the way around there. And every time I read this book, Tavistock Square, we used to walk the dog and my son. Lovely neighborhood. And Mrs. Dalloway is one of the books I do like of Virginia Woolf. I like this and To the Lighthouse a lot. And a new book, which I have not read, by Edward Mendelsohn. He writes a lot of the introductions to new editions of Woolf. The Inner Life of Mrs. Dalloway. It's from Columbia Press. If you're interested in her, this looks like a pretty interesting book. It's just about Mrs. Dalloway. It's a fairly shortish, easy to comprehend from what I've read. For me, if I can comprehend it, anyone can comprehend it. And it looks good. I may try to read that one, okay? And I won't keep this edition of Mrs. Dalloway just because I have one. And finally, the last new book of the batch, Matthew Restall, The 9 Lives of Christopher Columbus. Well, there's a guy no one wants to talk about anymore. I mean, he was kind of when we were kids, he was like, he could do no wrong, and now he can do no right. He was kind of a horrible man from what I can tell, and we'll see. This is, there's a quote on the back by Felipe Fernandez Ernesto, and this quote is quite funny. It says, "I thought there were too many books on Columbus until I read Matthew Restall's." Okay, that's fair. Anyway, a new book, a new look at Columbus and what is known about Columbus, and I don't know any more about that. I'm not going to probably read any more about Columbus, but there you go. And excuse for that. You see that effect, that thing that's going on, strobing thing. Anyway, I'm going to try to do a couple more of these. Sorry for babbling. We're going to babble a lot because we're back. We're busy. We've got a lot going on here at the bathtub. Got lots of pointless adventures coming up. So hold on to your hat. There's going to be a lot of pointless adventures in the future of the bathtub. And I'm going to pop this on the stupid video show, on the stupid YouTube. And hope you're all well. Safe bathing. Take care of yourselves out there. Try to get some good pointless reading in despite all the nonsense. Okay? Bye.